We're not live yet. Now we live. Hey, hey, hey.
Hey y'all, happy Thursday.
Let me get this see if it shows up so I can share it in one of the groups. In a second to load. It's not showing yet, I don't think. Oh, there it is. Okay. Um Options. Hmm. One second, y'all. I'm coming. Okay. So hey everybody, happy Thursday. Hope all is going well.
Hey y'all.
So for those of you who are new here and who are not familiar, my name is Tasha,
And I'm T.
and we are 22nd in Tech. And
Welcome, welcome.
these past couple of weeks we have been discussing brand, business branding, brand identity, logos, and all of that good jazz. And today we're actually going to be talking about brand awareness as it relates to your brand identity. So I have been dropping some little tips this week about logos and logo variations and the importance of having multiple variations of your logo, as well as making sure like your logo is simple yet memorable and scalable. Like those are just some tips I've dropped this week. And me and T were just kind of discussing like what we were going to talk about on the live today. And one of the things that has been that has came out of the tips and stuff that we've dropped this week is that people are not really either aware of or understand the importance of brand awareness.
So we actually have been working with a client for the last several weeks, completely birthing her brand from name selection and all. Um and so, this is very new to her. All of this is very new to her. And we just been trying to drive that same point to her about brand awareness. I feel like a lot of times, when you're starting a new business, developing a new brand, you can sometimes feel rushed to start selling your product or your service. But it's important to, especially in that startup, like if you're just launching something, your brand or your product or service, like there needs to be a period of brand awareness to get people familiar with your brand and what it is that you plan on offering, and what they can expect from you. You need to include that into your strategy. So that's what we have been working on with her. That can be obviously in things like your logo variations, your social media graphics, just a lot of different things. And so visually, you need to make sure that it is cohesive, and you want it to be something that will stand out, that you can get people to recognize. And so if you are consistent with your branding, your elements, your designs, that is going to help tremendously in making your brand become more recognizable. So that's what we'll be discussing today, and giving some tips and just some things to think about if you are in that phase of the business.
So, just to kind of piggyback on what you were saying in ways to, I guess, implement your brand recognition or your brand identity, this all spills into even when it comes to creating your website or your landing pages or your email marketing, your email campaigns. Um, this is how you create that brand recognition, by being consistent, by having everything align across different areas of your business, so that at some point in the future, as your business grows and scales, you can represent your business or your brand with just your logo graphic, and not with the variation of your logo that is the text font, right? So you think of Target. Well, Target has their font, their red in the words, and then they have their bullseye. You commonly, if you're looking at their marketing materials, maybe on their social media, you probably just see the bullseye more often than you see the words Target. So that's just an example of that brand recognition. They can just throw that bullseye out there anywhere, and you're gonna know, oh wait, that's Target. Same with McDonald's. They have McDonald's, the font, the text font, but then they have the golden arches or arch. Is it arch or arches? McDonald's got the arches, right? What's funny is I think I posted McDonald's and golden arches.
I'm not doing that with
Oh, Jesus. Where the trademark attorney at? Listen, the golden arch for McDonald's versus the text of McDonald's. You get where I'm going with this, right? The brand recognition has been created, and now you don't have to use the text variation of your logo. You can just use whatever your symbol or graphic is of your logo, because you have created over time your brand. And it's going to take time. It's not going to be you pop out the gate and people are going to just identify your brand, your submark, with what your brand is and what your brand does. You're going to have to create that story telling with your copy or your content in your social graphics or your emails or your website, so that people get familiar with what the business or brand is all about.
Yeah, guys, we always talk about keeping things simple. I know Tasha was giving some feedback about keeping your logo simple, not having too many elements. That's so important. Just knowing where to use your logos.
Your phone sitting on something?
Mm-hmm.
It's staticky when you talk.
Oh, okay. 1 second. Let me regroup.
So we have Halo. Thanks for watching and tuning in. Brother John, come through, Brother John. Thank you for showing up, showing up.
Okay. Is that better?
Say something.
I said, is that better?
It's a little better. It's a
Okay.
little better.
Okay. All right. So yeah, making sure that it's simple, that your logo is relevant, that it's reaching, that it's speaking to your target audience, that it's not too busy, and that you're using it consistently where you should be using it. But your brand awareness is more than just your logo. There's a lot of different components with that. And so, yeah, we're talking about your logo, but we're also talking about brand awareness just as a whole, and how you can, or just the importance of making your brand aware to people. And if you are flip-flopping with logos, you're not on, you don't have a defined brand, it's going to be hard to get people to recognize and trust your brand, your whatever products or services that you're offering, because there is no consistency. So, think about that in terms of brand awareness. You can't be all over the place if you are in that phase of your business of bringing awareness to your brand.
Hey, Carlinda, thanks for joining.
Hello, hello, for joining.
So to add to that, just even in the very beginning, right? Because I think what a lot of what I was able to recognize in this week's, I guess, tips and advice and recommendations is when you're creating your logo, along with that process, you are also creating your brand identity. And something that needs to definitely be considered is who you're targeting. That's going to be important, because if your target audience is teen girls, because you sell, I don't know, what do teen girls like? Bracelets, I don't know, whatever they like. And then your brand identity and or your logo or your brand imagery speaks to
A more
30,
audience.
40-year-olds, it's like there's going to be a disconnect. You're not going to appeal or attract the teen girls that you're actually wanting to target. Even if their parents are the ones that are going to be purchasing, it's still important that you align your brand awareness or your imagery or your identity to your target audience. And also your business needs and your business goals need to be considered. It's more than just saying, okay, I want to create this business, or I have this business or this skill and I'm going to turn into a business. And I want to get a logo that I like, that speaks about who I am, like that might not be great for the business. Period.
One thing that I was gonna say is we find that a lot of people are not really asking themselves brand related questions. And so just to piggyback off what you were saying about, it's not what you like in this brand development stage. It's not about what you like. Your favorite color can be black. That doesn't mean that that's the best color to go with in terms of your brand colors. You need to be putting a lot of thought into who you're trying to target. Before we get started on any type of brand development, we always have our potential clients go through a branding questionnaire, and anybody could take the questionnaire. There's a link in our bio for it on our Instagram. There's a link to it from our website. These questions are going to get you thinking about things that you probably had not thought about as it relates to your brand, but that you need to consider, because it's going to help everybody that is going to have a hand in helping you build your brand and your business. So definitely, that is a resource for you guys to take our branding questionnaire. It's not It's just a few minutes. It doesn't take that long, but I promise you that you will have a lot more insight. And just you're going to have a lot more to think about in terms of just your brand. And it's not just about telling us what colors you like. All right. It's going to get you to thinking about why you like those colors. Why are you choosing those colors? It will help us to determine how to best create visuals for your brand. So when you do things like that, when you do our questionnaire, when you complete any type of branding services with us, we always give you a brand board that helps to define your brand. It
It
has
depends on the brand services because there's two services that we offer that it's just a quick turnaround for those people that there are people that just don't want to go through that process. Like they just want a logo and I don't want to go through anything extra. I want a logo and I want it now. So sorry to interrupt, but go ahead.
somebody asked the question.
No. Because you said with every one of our branding services, you get a brand book.
Oh yeah. I'm sorry.
That's
True.
not the case.
That's true.
Because we actually had to create services for those people that literally did not care about
brand development.
They just want a logo.
And that's okay. And what we found is that those are often referred to as transactional logos. People just want to be able to put some kind of business imagery on things. And if that's what you need, you're not really interested in building a brand for said business, then we have something for that. But for those of you that come to us for brand development, you definitely have to go through our branding questionnaire because it helps us. It will help you and it will help us as well. And then upon completion of the brand development services, in your deliverables will be your brand board. This has all of the variations of your logo. For reference, it has your brand color codes. It has your brand fonts that will be used throughout your brand communication and any inspiration images that we used to develop the brand. So that's always a good idea to have something like that so that for one, if anyone is going to be creating any type of marketing materials for you, or if you're going to get any other branding materials, then you don't have to guess what your brand colors or your fonts are. Or guys, a lot of times, maybe you, for some reason, you don't have all of the appropriate file types that you should have as you are using your logo across different channels. And the most common thing is people not having their logo on a transparent background. And so it will be difficult for you to place it on different type of marketing materials or branding materials because it's on a dark background or a colored background. And so in that case, you may want to just have someone recreate your logo just so that you can have the correct file type in order to be able to use your logo the way you want to. If you don't know your font colors, your brand colors, your font type, whether it's us or someone else, it can be challenging. It may be impossible to completely recreate your logo as it currently stands. And that's why it's so important to make sure that whoever is doing your logo, they can provide you with things like that. That should just come. It just should come with it.
It should be a standard delivery process on how you're getting your logo. You should not have to go to someone else to have it recreated in order to have the appropriate file types for you to use as you need to use as it relates to your business.
Yeah. So that is just one reason why, or what one benefit to having a brand board. And that's why we make sure that we provide that as a part of our brand development services. So whether you come back to us for marketing materials, it doesn't matter. You will have your brand defined. You will know what it is. You will always be consistent with your branding. Um, and then I know you mentioned the different variations of the logo, but I don't know if you explained why one would need to have different variations of their logo. Did you?
Not here. I think I did in a couple of responses to some of the questions and or comments. So we have 22nd and Tech has a primary logo, which includes our font, our text logo, 22nd and Tech.
Spelled out.
Spelled out. And then we have our submark, which is what we use all the time. Like, even though it's not our primary, it's just the one that we use that we wanted to put out there for brand recognition. Now, there are some cases like on our Facebook banner, or I think our Facebook cover, and I think we have it on our LinkedIn as well, where we use our text-based logo. But for the most part, we're always kind of using our submark because of its, yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna say this right. It's the way it's designed.
I think it's the usability of it because of where we are. We're on social media for the most part. So that is the appropriate image for us to represent our company while we're on these different platforms. So for instance, when we're on Instagram, we can't really use our primary logo as our thumbnail image, our profile picture. So we use our submark. It just goes right in there. Same thing with Facebook. You know, we have our primary image, like you said, as our cover, but our profile picture is our submark. Same thing on LinkedIn. We use our primary as our header image, and then the profile picture is our submark.
And the reason for that is because 22nd and Tech is long. It's designed long, right? And you're talking about most profile pictures are circular. So us trying to pop in our text logo into a profile picture, it's going to be hard to recognize or even read or make out, what does that say? It's so tiny, you know what I mean? So with our submark, it's designed in a way that it fits profile pictures better. Or even if we had like a product, that we needed to put a label on, it may be a small product and 22nd and Tech would have to wrap around, so now we need a logo, a brand image that speaks to our brand identity, but also is sized in a way or designed in a way that is right in front, placed right in front, and you don't have to turn the bottle or the product to read it. So that's one of the benefits, or that's the need for having variations, because depending on where you use it you want it to still be recognizable.
Yeah, people will say, some people may say, oh, when you just starting out, you only need one logo. That's their opinion. If you come to us, like we said, we do have a transactional service for just a logo only. But if you're coming through us for brand development, you're going to have logo variations, whether you know it or not, because we know it. We already been through it. So you will get a logo suite with your brand development package, so that you can have those options, so that you can, have full use of your branding elements and further help you amp up your brand awareness. We got any questions? Okay.
No, I don't see any.
All right. Well, we have been on here for 25 minutes.
And it's I don't like when we have to do it so long, but I feel like we have some great information to share, right? That people need to hear. So it's kind of like this rock in a hard place. Like, dang, man, because you lose people when you're onto one, right? So anyway,
Well,
the
guys,
information here. So
if we don't have any more questions, just remember, if you are catching this on the replay, #replay. And in terms of brand awareness, just be prepared to walk through that phase of the process, because y'all know we can't skip any of the process. That's just not how it works. If you're launching a new product or a service or a new business or brand, then you want to make sure that you allow a time for brand awareness. And that is going to require you to be consistent, putting your visuals in front of people that fully represent what your brand is about. All right, y'all.
all right. Well, listen, until next week or next time, y'all have a wonderful Thursday
Good day.
evening.
Happy Throwback Thursday. Happy Pre-Friday. Make sure, again, y'all #replay. Y'all following us on Instagram at 22intech, and to join our Facebook group, Tech Control of Your Business. And if you haven't subscribed to our email list, you can click the link in our bio and grab one of our freebies. We have a couple of different things, SEO checklists, tips to help you boost your website. You can always take our branding questionnaire that is free to take. That's a really good start to getting in the door with us at 22nd and Tech. That's it.
And guys, if you're interested in any of our services, definitely feel free to check out our website, 22intech.com. And you can learn more about our services and our pricing and how to work with us, schedule a consultation, and all that good jazz.
Okay, guys. Thanks for joining. Have a great